Oh my God. It's exhausting. It's been exhausting. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. I kind of even have a mustache right now. Where are you from? Like, boy, here we go. Oh, way different background. This is a way more
Right.
different background. What's that art back there? Like,
Um, homemade, um, homemade Halloween cards.
oh wow, they're very high production value. I love them. Ooh, you made that?
No, somebody made it and sent it to me.
Wow.
Here's a
Oh,
more commercial
makes sense.
because
Oh,
we're a black cat family.
and I relate. As someone who accidentally got a gray cat in the quarantine.
What do you mean accidentally?
Well, we didn't know he was a gray cat. We applied because his brother was a black cat. I was drunk and I was like, oh well, duh, I want that. And then they showed up and they're like, here it is, kid. They gave us. That's good. But I'm just saying, like, there isn't really like a gray cat holiday. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like we should dedicate some kind of holiday to like gray cat merchandise so they have some representation too, like Arbor Day.
My first cat was a gray cat.
Yeah, what was their name?
So I'm a big fan of a gray cat.
You gotta be. I mean, they have a sort
They're
of.
still witchy.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're for the more like alternative witch,
I don't know about that.
sorceress, and all of us. Listen, I'm so happy to be talking to you on this stupid podcast of mine.
You got a haircut.
I did, and I have a mustache right now, kind of.
Now you have like other hairs too,
Yeah,
right?
that's true. But it's just been a really insane week. I got a ring light, so now I look like I'm just blown out all the time.
Oh wow.
I
I know. I need something to blow me out.
Well, meow. You've got, wait, I'm about to ask you if that was your real hair. I know it is your real hair, but you're also keen to have what do you call it, a fall or
They're all at Perfidia's.
what's that? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're all at Perfidia's because I don't think I told you this yet, but I'm doing an ADD Cobweb Cabaret live stream show a week from today.
27th? 20, was that?
27th.
Yeah, yeah, I saw I just saw
So
that.
I'm gonna like be performing it in Club Coming with like
Ooh.
2 audience members, and it's gonna
Cool.
and like people like buy a ticket and they go on and it's gonna be live, and we're gonna do like a Halloween show.
That's amazing. Well,
So that we're doing a show.
can't relate. I guess I've been doing shows on Instagram, but like I put a record out last week and it was kind of just like, oh, back to
I know. Congratulations, by the way.
very strange feeling. But listen, and this is gonna be sort of like a retrospective tour through your life and all the things that you like. How do you feel about that?
Why we're talking about me?
I know why. So listen, hold on. I guess I usually start these episodes by saying how we met. I met you when I was Justin Vivian Bond's sort of, what's the proper term for it? Not assistant, but sort of like,
Errand boy.
errand boy. I think errand boy is exactly I did a lot of laundry and like other things like that and like dealing with people's green rooms and things like that. But then I met you because you were DJing up at the spot upstate. And
At the Spiegel tent.
you and me and John Cameron Mitchell, and actually I'm supposed to be talking to Stephen Trask in a couple of days too.
Wow. I don't know Steven that well.
Oh, I've only known him on Instagram, just from
Wow.
he's hit me in the DMs with like LOL a bunch, so we're gonna chat. And
It was me, John Cameron Mitchell, PJ Du Bois, who started Mattachine,
yep,
his boyfriend Paul Dawson, and Amber Martin.
a
And
whole lot of drama.
well, yeah. But the night before, they screened
Short bus.
John's film
Short bus.
Short Bus.
Wow, no comment. Yeah, no, there was a lot of sex.
Which PJ and Paul were in, so they did like a screening and a whole Q&A
Yeah, it
afterwards.
was like a whole moment. And that was the first night you ever read me to Phil was that night because I didn't know
Oh.
the song. I didn't know the song "Private Idaho" by the B-52s,
Oh,
and you were like, "What?"
I was so mad.
Like, I think I even had the nerve to be like, "This is a good song. Who wrote it?"
Listen to me.
Yeah, right.
If I was listening to that song when I was in high school
Yeah.
in Des Moines, Iowa in the 80s without any access to the interwebs. There was no interwebs back then. My best friend's older sister had it and Wild Planet.
Yeah,
And
is that the
that's how I
self-titled or
knew
is that
it.
Wild Planet?
Huh?
Is that the self-titled record or is that
No,
Wild
Wild Planet, B-52's Wild Planet was the second one. It's the red one. And, you
Right.
know, that's how you heard about cool music back then, you know, either, you know, your best friend's, you know, cool older sister, or you heard about music from people because they sure as hell weren't playing the B-52s on the radio in Des Moines, Iowa in 1984,
I guess
you
that's
know.
true. I mean, it's funny to think like I heard that record and then I kind of came back to the early B-52s records as I was writing my record.
Yeah.
And there's a song called IDK on my album, which is based on the first track on the self-titled B-52s record, which still sounds like a contemporary punk record like today.
Yeah.
It's just that good. And
What's the first song off that record?
oh,
Planet Claire?
no, it's Party Gone Out of Bounds, that one.
Oh, no, that's Wild Planet, whore.
Planet? Okay.
God, get it right.
Yeah, okay, it was 10 years later. I still can't get it correct. But yeah, no, it's just so funny because do it. Is that what you do in Zoom calls now? You put your finger at people? Don't do what Jeffrey Toobin was doing. Did you hear about that?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, well, I feel really bad for him. Obviously, welcome to the freewheel conversation that is my podcast. But
Who is he?
he's like the head political writer for the New Yorker, and he was on a Zoom call, and he was like, "Okay, bye, guys," and he didn't hang up properly, and he started like watching porn, and so he started like jerking off, and like everyone saw. It's horrible. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's like I feel so bad for him, but like he's super embarrassed about it, and he's like on leave and stuff. But poor guy. I think that's what happened. I hope that's what happened. But
I mean, that's funny.
have you ever not gone up on a Zoom call and like caused some drama? Because I have. I really have. I mean, especially with all the D&D I'm playing these days. So hold on. Back to the.
Oh, you're such a nerd. You know, Kuba used to play D&D in the high school.
I bet he would. I mean, that's why I wore my Kubi-inspired shirt today.
It's very Kubi-inspired. It's very autumnal.
I just don't know how he dresses like this. I feel like I'm like a country ham. I'm just roasting. So hot. It's like a knitted sweater T-shirt.
It turned into a nice day today.
I know. Well, I came home after the guy got his balls cut off, and I've been asleep ever since. And I woke up to do this right now. We had to put him in the car all the way up to the Upper East Side. But anyway, Angie, listen. And I had pastrami before noon, which was just insane. But so hold on. So you're from Des Moines, Iowa, like the city of Des Moines.
Yeah.
And what was that like? It's cool there now. I've been there
now.
Well, no, or probably then had some cool stuff too. I don't know, but like
you played there, right?
Yeah, there's lots of cool like weird liberal people in every city in America. I think that's something that I don't realize, but like there's some funky. You know what there is? There's a lot of vegan stuff out there now. I know that's weird. I know that's not your scene. I'm saying like it exists. I had a Mia wrap out there and it was tasty. So, hold on. So wait, what did your parents do? Like what was going on back then?
Okay, so I was raised by a single working mother, so there was one parent. All right.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was gone.
Fuck him. Well, what did your mom do?
My mom had a couple of jobs. I'd say probably, so my mom and my dad were high school sweethearts and they went to separate boy-girl Catholic schools. And my mom was the Irish American Catholic
Ah,
girl. And my dad was the Italian American
oh,
man. I mean, Italian man.
Italian American.
And so they were high school sweethearts, and they went to the drive-in one night, and my
Oh,
mom totally got knocked up with my bitch sister.
oh my God, really? No.
And it caused a huge scandal. So this was 1966.
Right.
It caused a huge scandal in both of the families. Of course, my mom's Irish family was mortified, and the Italian family was like thrilled. They didn't care.
Abbondanza.
And they ended up moving in with my grandparents.
Oh my God.
And my mom was like, I was gaining all this weight because my grandmother's cooking was so good.
Wait a minute.
And I mean, it really was.
The Italians moved in?
No, they moved in with my dad's parents.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They didn't have anywhere to go.
Oh my,
And my dad was in he was going to college. Obviously my mom wasn't. And although she did do like a semester at like Mankato State or something like that. Anyway. So
Mankato State.
Right. Fast forward to July 1967. My mom has my bitch sister. And they're trying to.
People who don't know you that are going to be listening to
I
this,
have a bitch sister.
the casualness, just the abject casualness that you've always said it, and it's
my life.
It's never changed. It's like, oh yeah, my fucking bitch sister. It's so funny.
I really do have a bitch sister.
I know. I've heard different tales of years and years and years of this now. It's like
right.
It's about, I don't know, like Jumanji or something. It's just amazing.
And I saw her 2 years ago, and she still hates me. She made it clear.
Okay, so.
And I was so nice to her. I don't care.
You have red hair?
I don't care anymore.
Oh, wait,
it's like, why? I don't know why she cares.
I don't know. I hate a lot of things, but I don't really hate a lot of people anymore. It's just so tired.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Wait till you get to my age, you mellow out even more.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it that far. I'm probably gonna die in some kind of like like the teacup ride at a road like at an amusement park. I think that's how I'm gonna go. Does that make sense? Like they'll crash into each other one time, like the one time, and I'll die doing it.
Okay.
Okay, listen, that's just. So hold on. So anyway, so you were saying.
So I was raised by a single working mother. She worked for Massey Ferguson, which is a company that's long out of business now, that made tractors.
Oh.
She worked on the ads.
She worked on the ads. I thought you were going to say she worked on the line, like assembling tractors.
No.
That would be sick.
But Des Moines was a great place to grow up. The public schools were really good and very diverse, actually.
Really? That's amazing.
Yeah. My high school was white, black, and Southeast Asian.
Oh my God.
There were a shit ton.
That's cool.
Of Laotians, Cambodians, and Vietnamese, boat people.
Does that community still exist there? Like, that's cool. It's interesting. Like, there are all these cities in America. Like, I would never have fucking known that. Like, it's like in Minneapolis. Like, there's this massive community of Somalian people out there.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild.
And Iranians too. I think there's a lot of Persians.
Football pizza. Have I ever told you this story?
No.
Oh, well, there's a chain. So there's this Iranian flatbread. It's like super tasty, and it has like chutney and shit on it. And they had there's this store out there that was like, it had some random name and it was selling it. And all the people in Minneapolis were like, it looks like a football-shaped pizza. So then they changed the name to Football Pizza, and they franchised it. There's like a ton of it. So Middle Eastern food to Midwestern people, but because they said it looks like a pizza. It's very, very popular. If you're ever in Minneapolis, go check it out. It's really, really
I will snack down on that.
That's fucking, it's very cheap too. So anyway, so you're thriving out there in the Midwest, sort of. And when did you move to Chicago?
When I went to college.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how I knew it, but I was just like, as soon as I get out of high school, I can go to college anywhere I want to go.
Yeah.
I got to get the hell out.
For sure.
And Chicago was kind of like close enough, but far away enough. I didn't have the I don't have the guts to try and move to New York.
No, and what year was that?
1988.
Yeah, different kind of time for that.
But my best friend Stanley did.
Yeah.
He went to Juilliard.
Holy crap! Really? That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna apply to Juilliard for singing, but I chickened out. I never did. I ended up going to art school.
I think that was a better choice for you, though.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, look at what you're wearing. I think that those stuffy
I
Juilliard.
look like an art school teacher.
Art school. You know that Rufus Wainwright song about the art school teacher?
Right?
You know the Rufus Wainwright song about the art school teacher? It's really, really good. It's very homoerotic. He's like, and then he showed me Rembrandt, and I was like, whoa.
I like the idea of Rufus Wainwright, but I have to say I'm not really a fan.
Really? He interviewed me once for a magazine. I think it was Billboard, and he was super nice. I mean, I always loved it. He was such a Mary, and I went and saw him in London, and he has obviously I met Martha at that point too because I met Martha through Vivian and was a huge fan. I saw him perform, and he does this thing called Gay Jesus, where he like comes out in like a loincloth and like walks through the audience, and it's like very high, like Xanadu sort of meth dream moment. It's really good. Yeah. I mean, listen, I love a blousy piano ballad as much as the next bitch. But so in college though, you went there to study what? Art?
Yes.
Yeah, like fine arts, like painting and stuff?
Yeah, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just getting the hell out of Iowa and going to art school.
Sounds amazing. And what did you like back then? Like, tell me at this point in the time, like, because what I mean, of the many people I know, like, your knowledge of music and records is just like unparalleled. Between you and Greg, who I'm also going to be interviewing, like, that's why I think when I put.
Good luck getting a word in edgewise.
I think he's already edging enough for the both of us. But, you know, I think, like, what were you listening to back then? Like, college times? Like, what were the records?
Oh, my God. Well, you know, the thing, I don't know what it is. The thing about music is that, I don't know. It's just, you know, did you hear Kubi sneeze?
I did, and I liked it. I'm gonna turn it up in the mix later.
You know, all of a sudden, I can turn the volume up now. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. We'll see how the audio quality is. I really don't care anymore. You know, I've decided, Angela, this year, it's after I put the record out, it's Ben doesn't experience stress anymore about art making. I've just decided I don't get stressed about it.
Right?
I don't care what happens. The
record's so good.
Well, you can see this new crazy thing I'm doing where I'm writing 100 songs in 100 days.
That's very ADD cabaret.
Yeah, well, that was another thing I wanted to get. I'm on my third day of it. I've just decided I'm going to write 100 songs and put a record out. So I'll have another record out probably in February.
That's very magnetic fields, right?
Yeah, no, 69 love songs. Mine is called 100 Days of Hurting My Own Feelings. Which is, yeah.
How does Phoebe feel about it?
He's part of it. Wait a minute, but tell me
I have to tell you about your record.
Well, we'll listen. We'll listen to talk about shit later.
Okay.
Well, we can tell me now. Fine, tell me. I don't care.
Oh, I was gonna tell you that I have a new favorite song.
Ooh. What is it?
Well, I loved Running on Air. That was kind of my favorite song when like I would see you performing it live in your apartment.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
But I love Shame is my favorite song.
Oh, yeah. I love that one too.
So good.
You know what's funny? That one, I wrote it, and it's actually based on a lot of an old chord structure that's in two other Power Bottom songs. We have a song called 1994.
Oh, yeah.
The same chords.
Oh, wow.
The bridge is very different, and a lot of the math of it is different, but like the same like harmonic structure is the same as that.
Yeah.
And a song called Big Beautiful Day on our last record. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But no, I wrote that song on Thanksgiving after my dad and I got in a big fight. But it's not about him. It's about someone else I used to be friends with. But yeah, my hair is drying very sort of fluffy, and I know I don't look like David Cassidy, but
oh my God, men in their hair.
I know, right? It's
Men in their hair.
only I could take it off and hang it on the shelf like you do every night.
Shut up.
Anyway, Angela, listen. What music were you listening to back then? The whole point of this
Oh my God.
podcast is like I'm
Oh,
interested in the things that my friends are interested in, and because people are always asking me like how I find the shit I used to make music or whatever, and I just steal everything that my other friends have. So in the description for this, I usually list a list of all the shit that people have quoted.
so when MTV first aired in 1981, we didn't have cable, but I would go over to my friend's house. And so when MTV aired in 1981, there were bands like Susie and the Banshees and Echo and the Bunnymen. And, there were a few, artists like Pat Benatar that, were willing to kind of go in this new genre, Flock of Seagulls and all these crazy new wave bands. And I loved the new wave, right?
Yeah.
I don't even think I really knew what punk rock was back then. I remember hearing the Sex Pistols in 1984, and it just wasn't my thing, right?
They're a terrible band, and he's a Trump supporter, that piece.
And he's a Trump supporter now too, right?
Yeah, they were created by the record label.
Yeah, they were created by the record label, whereas the true punk rockers was like the Ramones and Iggy Pop and
Apartments punk, like
yeah,
that
Television.
Hello, just like all the
dolls.
Oh yeah, they were just so hot they couldn't play their fucking instruments for shit.
I know.
Can relate. But dude, like, yeah.
But also there was a public access radio station in Des Moines called KDPS, and a couple of kids in my school had their own radio shows, and they would play stuff like, Yaz.
Oh, I love Yaz.
They would play a lot of new wave stuff. And they would play a lot of music. You
like Yaz?
Yaz?
Yeah.
Oh God, yes.
Cameron Mitchell gave me tickets to see Allison Moyet play at Irving Plaza, like right when I got back to the city after Power Bottom broke up. And I have a photo of me on my bookshelf of me and Phoebe there. I'm bald, because that's when I shaved my head and wore fake glasses for a year. Remember that period? Yes. And I'm like bald, and I look like I had just eaten a beach ball because I was, drinking beer and trying to eat my feelings. And yeah, dude, it was a look, but it was a great show. She's a fucking G. And I'm singing her songs at my straight people friend's wedding the next year. I know.
What?
Very iconic. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Jazz was one of my favorite groups, but yeah, it was like that. Like that's how you found music.
Well,
was through people and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just always loved music, and I always loved singing, and I always loved like melody and like a hook, and and music is a lifesaver sometimes, like it definitely got me through some tough times with my live-in tormentor, my bitch sister. Who was my live-in tormentor.
What kind of music did she fucking listen to?
She and I actually liked some of the same stuff. That's because when she finally moved out of the house, she stole my Missing Persons record.
That sucks. I love Missing Persons.
During Session M.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah.
Fuck her.
She stole it.
Now for your birthday.
She liked, we did like a lot of the same music. She had the Flashdance soundtrack.
Oh, work.
Yeah. Duran Duran Rio. Which is one of my favorite albums of all time.
Remember the Patrick Nagel album art?
Yes, and produced by Niles Rodgers of Chic.
Yeah, who's still producing records, and he has he has a signature series guitar by Fender that just came out.
Yeah, he is the shit.
He is the shit. I love it.
And there was some stuff that she listened to that I didn't like. Which I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to worry about that now.
But I wanted to be a punk rocker and a new waver so bad.
What was the hair like back then, Ange?
Asymmetrical.
Ah,
I did. I wanted to be a punk rock girl so bad. I just wore black, and my bitch sister would make fun of me and call me Punky Brewster.
well, she's a bitch, so fuck her.
I know.
Wow.
And you know what's so crazy about all that? And there was this whole group of girls that, some of them were kind of nice to me, but some of them, were just annoyed by me because I was trying way too hard. And I was, and I was young and I didn't know how to, go about, figuring it all out. But it's just like, now, who's the most fucking punk rock bitch ever? Like, I'm friends with Danny Fields.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wait,
I know.
For the people who are listening at home who don't know who Danny Fields is, can you explain briefly?
Yeah, so Danny Fields was a journalist. He was openly gay. He was just the coolest guy in the room, and he kind of discovered with Linda Stein, with his partner Linda Stein, they managed the Ramones and Iggy Pop.
Yes, they did.
They managed the Ramones. I don't think he managed Iggy Pop. He discovered Iggy Pop. He heard Iggy Pop and brought Iggy Pop and the Stooges to the attention of.
Is that a real cuckoo clock sound?
Yeah. Yeah. Kyle Supley fixed it.
Oh, he did?
He fixed
it. That little thing.
I know, right?
I love that. That was like, people aren't going to believe that was real. I mean, we have it on video, but that was amazing. That's going to be the teaser clip.
Yeah, and he's in Please Kill Me, the book.
Yeah.
By Legs McNeil and Gillian. Oh, what's her last name? Oh, I feel bad. She's good friends with him.
Rogers?
Gillian. Fuck.
I don't know who that is. So
she wrote the book. Please Kill Me.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I know the book. Yeah.
Gillian. God damn it. What's her last name? I might have to run to the bookshelf and look.
Wow. My bookshelf is mostly just pics of me being stupid. Hey, everyone listening at home, how cool do I look right now? Right.
Oh my God, I can't find it.
It's all right. You'll find it eventually, and then I'll put it in the description.
God.
I like your shrunken head back there, though.
Oh my God! Over the years,
gotten smaller. Sorry.
No, over the years, I used to have these epic Halloween parties before I had a nice apartment.
Right.
And, now that we have a nice apartment, we can't have these epic Halloween parties. But I would go to I used to love to scour the dollar stores. And the dollar stores would have the weirdest Halloween decorations. And I found some of my best Halloween decorations at the dollar store. It's just kind of weird. And look at this one.
What is it? Oh my God, it has hair. How horrible is that?
It's like Norman Bates' mom.
It looks like Andy Warhol.
Right? We got this at a dollar store in Montreal.
You know what it actually really looks like? It looks like, which I'll return to later, there's a section in this show where I ask you to name one thing that lives rent-free in your head at all times. And for me, it's the High Point Coffee Lauren Bacall commercial. And her hair looks like that in it. I'm going to pick my pleasure. High Point Coffee. It's decaffeinated.
I know. I never sent you the link, but did you ever see that Canada Dry Anne Margaret commercial?
No. Oh, you.
I'm a soft drink expert.
Oh my God.
That's another one.
How do they drag these filled out divas out to do these like fucking?
Anne Margaret was like in her prime. This was
really?
Yeah, this was like early 70s. And they do it's like a whole song and dance number,
Okay. Well, okay, when we get to that section, we gotta do that. So listen, so you're in college, and when did you meet Kubi?
Yeah, so I only went to the School of the Art Institute for a year and a half because my financial aid ran out because my stepdad sold his mom's house.
Wait, that's the longest, most complicated thing. That sucks.
Well, all my financial aid went away because they had this huge income on their income tax, and nobody seemed to see that coming. So I ended up taking a year off. Which was actually a good thing because I was not taking anything seriously at all in art school, and I was fucking around and having fun, and you know, it really sucks when all your friends are in college and you're not.
Right.
But I stayed in Chicago. Like I was like, I'm gonna stay in Chicago and work and, you know, just stay here.
Right. What were you doing?
Oh my God, I did a million things. I was a waitress. I worked in this, I worked in this like leather factory as like
What?
a cutter.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I like cut linings for like this leather designer.
Kind of cool.
And then I decided that I wanted to study costume design, so I switched schools, which was a huge mistake.
Oh,
Well, luckily my credits transferred over.
what school did you change to?
I went to, it was called the Goodman School of Drama, but it was a part of DePaul University.
Oh, the Goodman, like the Goodman Theater.
Yeah.
Oh.
It used to be at the Goodman Theater, but it got absorbed into DePaul University. So technically I got my degree from DePaul.
It's on the south side of Chicago, right?
No.
Oh, well, fuck me, bitch.
Lincoln Park. Yeah.
Oh, wait up.
No, you know what's the south side of Chicago is where Kubi went, University of Chicago.
Okay. Oh, Kubi.
Yeah, Kubi's smart.
I gave a lecture at the University of Chicago once.
You did?
Fucking did. I fucking did.
About what?
Whatever the shit I made. And a bunch of people showed up and they were like, so Ben, what? I'm like, the guitar. It was bad. It was on tour. I didn't realize they were super nice though. And they liked it. I played a bunch of songs and I talked about music, but I was in a lecture hall lecturing. Lived and I did it. So now when I'm bartending and, you know, still sifting through the trash all day, I can think about my lecturing days at a very fancy college.
It was very fancy.
Caffeinated coffee. Wait a minute. So how did you meet Kubi though?
So when I graduated from college, which was 1993, I moved to Wicker Park because that's where all the cool kids were. And It was so cheap to live there.
Tell me about it. Like how cheap?
Oh my God. A huge 2-bedroom apartment for like $345.
Fuck you. Are you serious?
I'm serious. And this was 1993.
Right. I was 2 years old. Good year.
But anyway, my best friend from Des Moines moved out to Chicago with me, and I was still really good friends with my college dorm mate, Emily. We have the same birthday.
Which is what, by the way?
Huh?
Which is what, by the way?
January 16th.
Because makes you an Aquarius, right?
No, Capricorn.
I knew that. I just wanted to piss you off.
Right?
Yeah.
You're a Libra.
Yeah. You know what's funny, though, Angela, and I mean this. The only people I've interviewed in this fucking podcast so far have been Capricorns.
Oh.
My friend Laganja from Drag Race. Machine Dazzle is Capricorn.
Oh, yeah. Machine Dazzle is a late December Capricorn.
Yeah. And he dressed up like a giant anus, and all of the footage and audio for the interview got corrupted when my computer crashed. So,
oh, you're gonna have to do it again. Where is Machine? Is he in Hawaii?
I helped him find an apartment.
Oh, good.
I know. No, I have a guy. If you're listening to this podcast and you live in Brooklyn and you need an apartment, I have a guy who's a nice Orthodox or Russian Orthodox Jewish man who's helped a lot of the queers find an apartment for very cheap.
Oh, nice.
Find our apartment, and he helped Machine get an apartment. So.
Great.
Yeah, totally. He deserved it too, and he dressed up like a giant anus for this interview, and so now that's gone. Tragedy. So anyway, so you're living in this cheap fucking apartment.
Oh, so great. And Emily was in this band called Strawberry. They were kind of a glam rock band, and one of her groupies was this nerd named Dave Cowlish, and he was he had gone to University of Chicago, and he was in love with Emily, and he was her groupie.
Amazing.
And she had a boyfriend at the time, and then her and the boyfriend broke up, and then she started dating Dave, and then she would bring around Dave's friends, and Kubi was one of Dave's friends. And I had just gotten back from San Francisco to visit my friend Sherry, and I had fallen in love with a boy in San Francisco named Elrod.
Oh, Elrod.
This is 1994. That wasn't his real name, of course.
Good
But
year for golf. Yeah, like Kubi's
uh,
real.
he took me on a tour of all the happy hours of San Francisco, including the Tonga room where it rains on the inside. And
Ah!
I came back from San Francisco. I was so in love with this kid. And Emily came over with Dave and Adam. And they're like, oh, me and Dave are going to come over with Dave's friend Adam. And Kubi's hair was like an afro. It was like all long and kinky and
Really?
weird. And he was wearing like a trench coat and he just kind of sat there. And for some reason, I had made peanut butter cookies and I burned them all. And I gave them some cookies and I was just like, well, I burned them all. And he goes, I'll take the burned ones. And I was like, here you go.
Freak.
So that was in the fall of 1994. And then fast forward to the winter, like late January, early February of 1995, I was sitting in the Rainbow Lounge with the Kevorkian twins and my friends Sosie and Ellie Kevorkian, the Kevorkian sisters, who were twins.
Word.
And some guy taps me on the shoulder and goes, hey, hi. And I looked up and I didn't recognize him because he had cut all that crazy hair off.
Oh my God.
And it was Kubi. And he saw me and he recognized me and he said hi to me. Wow. And I was like, oh my God, this guy is so cute and he talks, you know, because he really didn't say anything when he was sitting in my apartment. And then the next night we went, there was this kind of basement venue called the Milk of Burgundy that we would go and see bands.
Word.
It was the 90s.
That's a good ass name though, but someone took themselves very seriously when they were naming that DIY.
Right.
Milk of Burgundy.
Milk of Burgundy. So the next night I went to Milk of Burgundy with some friends and I ran into Adam DiCARLO again. And then the third night I went to go see Casey Spooner in his experimental theater show. And beforehand, I'd gotten drinks with Christina D'Angelo. She'd taken a very belated birthday. And so we got really drunk, went to this experimental theater show. And then Emily came and picked us up. And we went to her boyfriend's apartment where her boyfriend was in a band with Kubi. And they were finishing up rehearsal. They were in a band together. They're horrible. And we were so drunk. We were like, acting the fool, and Kubi was like still having it, and I know, and everybody went home, and I wanted to get another drink, and Kubi went and got a drink with me, and then that's how we started dating.
That's amazing.
Story too long.
No, I love it. It's great.
Really?
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's interesting. You'd be surprised at like how willing you would be to listen to someone else's story like that, right?
Yeah, and like there's so many other details that I left out, but
well, I've known you for years and I didn't know that.
Really? Well, you know, the funny thing is that, you know, it was so crazy because we ran into each other 3 nights in a row.
Amazing.
Right. And he literally just saw me at like my most loudest, obnoxiousest, you know, which hasn't really changed.
I was going to say, still keeping that streak alive there, babe. Wait a minute. What's Kubi's sign again?
Virgo.
Shit, Capricorn Virgo combo. That's a lot.
That's a winning combo.
You like, there's a lot of like organization of things involved in that process.
Yeah.
So then, hold on. Wait, how long were you out? Also, how did you meet Casey Spooner?
Casey was going to the School of the Art Institute, but he started going there after I had left. And we met through a common friend that we had, Kelly Kuvo, who was in a band called the Scissor Girls.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds like this
they were punk rock.
Yeah.
And Kelly was kind of like this conduit for a lot of people. Because Kelly is how Casey met Lizzie Yoder, who would, go on to be in Fisher Spooner. And yeah, so I met those guys out one night. I think there was this band that I loved called the Cocktails. They were from Kansas City.
I love Kansas City.
Right? They played like they dressed in suits and they played, like vintage 60s lounge music. They're a really great band, the Cocktails. And we were kind of their groupies.
I love it.
And there were a bunch of great music venues in Wicker Park back then. There was the Czar Bar, Phyllis's Musical Inn, the Empty Bottle.
Oh, the Empty Bottle's still there.
Oh my God.
It's still there.
Yeah.
It's still there before.
Cabaret Metro, which I think is just called Metro now. That wasn't in Wicker Park, but that's
where, Metro before, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I was supposed to. I don't remember. But
and Lounge Acts.
Word.
Double Door.
Double Door is still. I think Double Door is a thing. Maybe that's just the name of two doors together.
A lot of venues, and we were at one of those littler ones, either Czar Bar or Phyllis's, and Kelly Kuvo saw me and was like, "Oh, you like the Cocktails? Oh, and just saw me and was just like, oh, she seems, I was always working a look back then. She was talking to me, and we just became friends."
Is this like when you were blonde though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were blonde a long time.
Yeah, I was.
Wow, I love that.
But I was from like 1991 to like 2002.
Whoa, that's great.
Yeah.
I always assume you're so iconically a ginge.
I know.
Like always kind of just bend your energy. Very
well, because I did have red hair as a little kid.
Okay, there you go. See, it just suits you to the point of like being like you couldn't be anything else really.
Well, you know what's so funny? At 32, I thought that the platinum blonde was making me look old.
Well, I just turned 29 like a few days ago, and I'm
I know. Happy birthday!
Like a husk at the moment. But a glorious husk. So wait a minute. So when did you come to New York? And like when did that
Okay, so Casey and all those guys started moving here in 95.
Okay.
And they were like, Casey was a part of this experimental theater company called Eureka. And they did a show here, and he was like, I'm not going back to Chicago. This is where I need to be. And so he was kind of the one that was like, come on, everybody, let's go. And me and Kubi were dating at the time, and we got there like around 97. It took us a little longer because Kubi was, working with this company, and it was kind of, even back then it was like trying to figure out how he could still work for his own company, because he was a part owner of this company.
Oh, wow.
And so it was like that took a long time. So if I had my way, I would have been in New York in 95, but I didn't want to go there without Kubi, And I was worried too, because, it was like my idea, and it was like, what if he doesn't like it? And it was like, I was so ready to leave Chicago. It's still very Midwestern.
Yeah.
There were a couple of friendships that, went south, just, some really shitty things that happened to me involving, former best friends and ex-boyfriends. Figure that one out. And and I was just, and as a matter of fact, when I met Adam, I was at a very low point in my life. It was, it was hard. And he wasn't like any guy I had ever met. He was just a nice guy, and he wasn't, afraid to be just like a nice guy. He was just a sweetie, and that's just the way he was, even though he was a computer nerd and indie rocker.
Yeah. Hello. I love that. Were you performing at this period of your life?
No.
Really?
No.
Wait, tell me about that though. So you moved to New York, and then you get there, and you start doing. When do you start doing Fisher Spooner's makeup?
Oh, like right from the start.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like 99, 2000. They did this huge show at Gavin Brown's Enterprise. It was like a 7-night thing. And I think that was 1999.
Okay.
And they had a bunch of different makeup artists. And I did 2 nights. And then I ended up doing the first Emerge video that nobody ever sees.
See,
And
that's
and
what
the
people don't
second
know.
Emerge video.
Any good band has a good disaster, like 5 or 8 versions
Yeah.
of the video or a song that
Yeah.
no one ever sees. Yep, that's about right.
I know. I did a version of Losing My Edge that they redid.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did makeup on Losing My Edge, a video they did, and then they ended up redoing it where somebody's constantly slapping his face, which is what I wanted to do when I was doing James Murphy's makeup.
Ah,
He was a pain in the ass. He was so self-conscious. Like, I'd go up on set and give him a little powder, and he'd be like, "Oh God, I look like a mess." And I'm like, "Shut up."
by the way, for those of you who don't know, that's the guy from LCD Sound System.
He was very neurotic.
He sits outside. You know, his apartment is right on North 7th in Bedford in Williamsburg, and he owns he owns a wine bar right there, and he's always just standing there smoking, or he goes to Main Drag and plays with like the keyboards.
Wow.
When I lived in North Williamsburg, when I was crashing on a couch, I'd see him a lot, and I'd be like, "Wow, you better work." Well, that's why he's a keyboard queen. You know, it takes a certain kind of mentality.
You know, that's so funny. He got like married and divorced a couple of times, right?
Sounds fun. I don't know. I don't know anything about his personal life at all. I just know that he writes some great fucking songs. I mean,
Yeah, he did.
I mean,
He wrote some great songs. You know what? Losing My Edge is not one of them.
no, it's actually not. I mean,
I don't like it.
Laugh Track is sort of my interpretation of All My Friends, as much of a bunch of other things too. But I was like, I'll write a long ass song with 2 chords too. Absolutely. Wait a minute, but how did you start performing though? I'm very
Oh, so how did I start performing? Well, you know, when Fisher Spooner did do that infamous first show at the Starbucks, I think I performed
what?
too.
What do you mean what do you mean Starbucks?
That was the Fisher Spooner's first show. It was at the Starbucks in Astor Place. They used to have
That Starbucks, haunted Starbucks.
Yeah. They used to have performances there.
Like in that back area?
No, in the front.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, tell me that story. I'm very curious.
I don't know how or why or what, but this is like, 1999. And that Starbucks at Astor Place, they would have people perform there, and Fisher Spooner performed there. I performed there. I wrote this song about Jacqueline Suzanne because at the time I was obsessed with Jacqueline Suzanne.
What is that? I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is.
He wrote Valley of the Dolls.
Oh, okay, sure.
And The Love Machine, and Once Is Not Enough, and Dolores.
Wow.
And Every Night Josephine, and I wrote.
Sounds like a drag queen with 2 first names as a name.
Jacqueline Suzanne. She was from Philadelphia.
Oh my God.
And I performed, and when Casey started dating Adam Dugas, I was always singing little stupid songs and like entertaining people and making people laugh and stuff like that, and always singing stuff. It was kind of like when I went to college, I kind of chose art over music because those were like the 2 things that I loved the most. And, the music never leaves you, right? Like you're always.
You can't stop it.
Yeah. And I would sing all these stupid little songs. When we would go on tour with Fisher Spooner, I always wrote a song about the restaurant in the hotel we were staying at. And the first time we went to London, we were staying in the London Bridge Hotel, and the name of the restaurant was Simply Nico.
Oh, shit.
Simply Nico! Simply Nico Restaurant and Bar. You better get your sinus down to Nico. You're gonna wonder why you keep coming back. You better get your ass down to Nico. 'Cause it ain't any good unless you're on crack. Simply Nico. Simply Nico Restaurant and Bar.
Oh.
Simply Nico. So anyway,
You know
like
if it's still there?
be doing their makeup and then like, have everybody singing. And
Wow.
Casey, it took 3 hours to get him ready because there were 4 dancers, two singers, two female singers. Casey, it was like 7 people to get ready, so it took 3 hours. And we would like entertain each other, and we would hang out, and we would sing stupid songs and stuff like that. And Casey always used to say, "Getting ready was the funnest part."
I think it is too, honestly.
Right?
Well, actually, I totally disagree with that. I'm such a nervous.
Well, when you're Casey Spooner and you're just, lip syncing to a bunch of people.
That's probably it. For me, before I perform, I'm like hysterically like crying and I'm like nervous and I'm like,
Really?
oh my God, I'm a mess. I'm not having fun. No, 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 no. I'm sitting there
You
like,
drink before you go on?
I'll have like a drink. Like I don't
Like a
get,
shot.
I'll have like a cocktail. Like I won't get drunk before it. I'll have something on
no.
stage, but no,
Thank you,
never. But I'm like every single time. And if I'm not, it's gonna be a bad show. Or at least
Oh,
that's
no,
like,
you shouldn't think like that.
no, I
I
shouldn't.
used to be like that too. I used to have a lot of nerves. And the thing about nerves is, the thing about stage fright is that you kind of can't control it.
Yeah, well, something Liv used to say is that like the feeling of being nervous and the feeling of being excited is very similar emotions. So whatever. I mean, again, no stress for Ben anymore about performing. I'm just gonna do things and make things and have a nice time.
Right. Not
So
like we can perform live anywhere.
yeah, not like I've done that in years, except for in my apartment. So then wait, but when did you like do your first show?
Oh, so okay. So anyway, so Adam Dugas was the one that was like, you write all these little songs, and you call them stupid, but they're not stupid. They're real songs, and you should write songs. And Adam Dugas used to do this Christmas show every year called Chaos and Candy, and it was a bunch of us, all of the performers from Fisher Spooner. It was like a real family, New York type show, and he did it from like 2000 up to like 2009. And the first one I remember, Warren Fisher had a company called Optic Nerve. And the first time I ever really performed was me and Adam Dugas did the Optic Nerve Christmas party. We were the entertainment. And I sang There's Always Tomorrow from, Rudolph and
yes.
Island of Misfit Toys and stuff like that. Like all those Rankin and Bass specials were my favorite. And so I would be in Chaos and Candy every year. And one year he did a Easter show at the Box.
The Box.
Right when the box opened. Right when the Box opened, everybody was so excited because they thought it was going to be a different kind of venue. They didn't know it was going to be like a Russian oligarch coke den. Like we thought the Box was going to be like a venue for like us to perform at. And Adam knew, some of the guys that opened it. So right when it first opened, he secured we did a couple of Chaos and Candies there too.
That's crazy.
And it's a cute little stage. It's a great, great spot.
No, it is.
And he said, I said, well, I want to do more than one song. And he said, if you want to do more than one song, you have to write it. So he like forced me to write songs. And then I was doing a show with Yana Chapenko and Lizzie Yoder that Jeffrey Deitch produced called Lady. Yeah. We did that at the Zipper Theater, which is long gone. Mm-hmm. And then that broke up. And then Adam Dugas was like, you just need to do your own show. Like, you should do your own show.
Amazing.
And that's kind of how
what was the first one you did, though?
It was at Abrams Art Center, and not in the huge theater. So Abrams Art Center has actually 3 stages.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
They have a space downstairs that's underneath those stairs that I call Chewbacca's recital hall because it looks like the inside of the Millennium Falcon. And big theater, and then they have the little black box. And so my first show was at Chewbacca's recital hall. I had a full band. It wasn't really acoustically, it wasn't really a great spot for like I had a full band and everything. It was great.
Amazing.
And then I did, and it went pretty good. And it was all my own original songs. And then I would do the VSMs. I would do the ADD songs as an encore, all the little leftover bitchy songs. I did that as like an encore or something like that.
Okay.
And then the next year I did Joe's Pub, and then I recorded an EP.
You have an EP?
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's on iTunes.
What? I didn't know that.
Oh God, no.
I'm gonna buy it right now.
No, don't you dare buy it.
Wow.
You can probably find it free somewhere on the internet.
I recorded in 2018 that no one will ever hear unless I decide to put it out.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Shit versus Fan. It's like really good, but it's like also really badly recorded. And I recorded it with this guy who was like a total he was like, you don't know anything, and I was like still so like, oh yeah, I guess I don't, like period of time. So he totally like he said there's no place for saxophone in rock and roll, and I just put out a fucking.
Oh, he's so full of shit. What about fucking X-Ray Specs?
Bro, like I just put out a whole fucking saxophone rock.
What about the Motels?
What about anything? Like
what about Bruce Springsteen?
Miss Springsteen and her fantastic thing. So wait, but I'm so curious. Like you were you also always doing hair and makeup at this time? Like when did
yeah.
When did Spooner stop?
Well, I stopped working with them around 2007 because things were changing, and the cast was changing a little bit, and there was some stuff going on. There was an incident that, I just kind of soured me, where they didn't have any money and they hired my assistant to do my makeup that I designed, and I was really mad, and I was like, I'm not gonna work with you guys anymore, because like I said to Casey, I was like, I'm done. Like, we're not gonna have a friendship if this keeps going.
Good for you, honestly.
So, I stepped away. It was kind of like.
And how many years?
That really sucked. Really sucked. You create and you design this makeup, and they go behind your back and they hire your assistant to replicate your work. And, the fucking assistant did it, and fuck her.
I would be so pissed if someone did that with anyone.
I was pissed. It's just.
It's like even beyond being angry. It's just like, really? Like, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Damn. Well, then, yeah. Now we're at the year what? Now we're like at like 2008 or something like that.
2008, 2009. Fast forward to 2010. The Zipper Theater had closed, and one of the guys that ran the Zipper Theater had gone over to Bowery Poetry Club on Bowery.
Stefan, the sax player, worked there for a long time in my band.
Right. I hate it that it's not there anymore. It's that horrible Duane Park. And he was like, I'm trying to put in some new programming over at Bowery Poetry Club. And Mad Men had just come out. And he was like, oh, you look so much like that redhead from Mad Men. Why don't you do a couple songs by the piano? And da-da-da. And I ended up writing a musical parody of Mad Men in 2010. So by that time, Adam Dugas had stopped doing Chaos and Candy. Mm-hmm. And I did, so 2010 to 2015, I did The Mad World of Miss Hathaway, which was an original musical parody of Mad Men.
You asked me to be in it at one point.
I did a couple of times. Yeah.
So I so regret that I didn't get to do it.
I know. Well, you know what? I really miss the, ensemble shows that I used to do, because after that ended, that obviously ended when the show ended. Right. And then that's when ADD Cabaret came, because when we did Mad World of Miss Hathaway for the encore, we would do the ADDs.
So it's always been
our encore.
You've always had it like these tiny songs you write like in the back.
Yes. Like 2009, I had an infamous creative block that summer, and I couldn't write any songs I couldn't write any real songs. I was just writing little stupid songs about like panty liners and slices of cheese.
Mm.
And so one night we went over to Mike Jackson's house and had some gin and listened to Manilow live.
Ah,
And he does this medley where he's just like, we're gonna do this medley, and all my classy friends say, "Oh, Barry, how can you lower yourself to do that medley? Oh, it's horrible." And then all my trashy friends are like, "Oh, Barry, I love that medley that you do." And he would do a medley of all the commercials that he wrote before he was famous,
that's amazing.
right?
I love it.
And I was just like, oh my God, I'm just going to take all these stupid little songs and I'm going to Jimmy Jack them together and just do like a rapid fire medley of all these stupid songs. Like, oh, little slice of cheese, you're going to be so good to me. Fucking $75 candle, panty liner, sundial bitch, you're a fucking whore. Like all these stupid songs. And it just, people were just like, what? But it was like funny and it made them laugh.
Well, I mean, I am obviously like the biggest super fan of the show. I go every single time you do it.
I know, you're so sweet.
No, well, I also like it. I mean, I am sweet, but I also like it. But my question is, so that kind of brings us up through kind of the present moment now. So you've been doing that show for 5 years, and
Yeah.
that's fucking amazing. But and obviously, well, my only gripe with you is that you haven't recorded a record of it yet.
Oh, a lot of people say that. I had such a bad experience recording my EP. Like one of my guitar players suggested the guy who recorded it, and I didn't like him, and it wasn't a good fit. And I think he really only did it because like he was like living in Union City in New Jersey and he needed the money. And I got so turned off from that. But and that was like 2008, or no, that was like 2009. I think that there's a way that I could record this stuff. Like I've recorded stuff over at Special K's apartment.
I bet that's honestly, if you recorded like all of the good ones like that, honestly,
Yeah.
just piano and vocals. What? It doesn't have to be that fucking crazy.
Well, I think it'd be fun to have a little bit more instrumentation, right?
Yeah, there's so many different people that you could get. I'm actually going to probably interview that silly man Ray soon, eventually.
Who?
Ray Rizzo.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, I know. He used to live
You're a
across.
drummer.
I know. Dude, but you know what? Like, it's such. I know, right? That's like the funniest thing. I'm just interviewing.
You should interview Carmine too. Carmine and Adrian.
Oh yeah, I should interview Carmine and Adrian. That's a good idea. Carmine, who plays drums in the Julie Ruin, people who are listening, because I have played with them before.
Right.
I look so pale in this lighting now. Ew. But I mean, I'll put links obviously to all your performances and to your YouTube channel and stuff, like so people can watch the shows. I
Okay.
have personal favorites, some of which I won't say on the air. I mean, Dead Baby Graveyard kills it every time.
Well, we're going to be doing that in the live stream show on October 27th.
All right, I'll put a link to that in the description. But Ange, like the last part of the show, I'm curious is like, what do you want to do now? Like, what's the thing you want to do? I know that you've been trying to write. You've been writing something on and off for a long time, right?
Oh, the day after the 2016 election, I started my Angry Feminist musical.
Yeah.
And I was putting the finishing touches of it. I was putting the finishing touches on it in the winter, and I was really getting somewhere with it. And I was going to have a reading for it before this whole COVID thing struck, because it was actually the kind of first thing that I had did that was like kind of semi-serious and like political and trying to make a statement, but it was an ensemble piece. It was about, a group of people on a New York City bus that rode the bus every day and their experiences with each other and with feminism. And it was kind of my answered prayers, the Proustian novel that Truman Capote never finished. So I always thought of that as my, the thing that I was, struggling with. And it was so crazy because I had finally come to a point where I was going to put it out in the world, and then COVID happened.
Are you still feeling good about it now that COVID's happened, or?
Well, I was thinking, how is this going to be relevant if Dump Truck, doesn't get reelected, which I really don't think he is.
I don't think he is either. Fingers crossed. For now.
But I think it still is relevant, and I totally think I'm still going to put it out there because it's a crazy musical about people's relationship with feminism and just how they felt when this shit went down.
Totally.
Because I was not prepared for that outcome whatsoever, and it really messed me up. You
Thank-
know, I was so ready for our first female president. And I guess I don't know if I was just, blindsided to like how much people hated Hillary Clinton. Actually, I wasn't. I knew there were a lot of people I knew that hated her.
Yeah.
And it
I
just was something that I wasn't prepared for, and the way to help me feel better was to write the show. I mean, it was almost like cathartic for me. Like my mom gets so upset. My mom, like seriously, just loves like almost everything I do, but she gets livid at me about the Bitch Sister song. And I try and explain to my mom that, look, she's never gonna like me. And, in a way, me singing about it makes me feel better.
yeah. Too.
It's like cathartic for me because, it's almost hilarious. And also, so the reason the reason is that when I first started doing, happy birthday bitch sister, merry Christmas bitch sister, people would come up to me all the time and they would be like, oh my god, I have a bitch sister. And it spoke to people.
Totally.
Spoke to people, and it made people feel better about their shitty relationship with their bitch sister or their bitch aunt or their bitch child or bitch cousin. And so it's so popular, people relate to it, and it makes people laugh, which
Yeah.
makes, so I take something like, having somebody hate you is not a great thing. And when you take it and you turn it up on its ass, and it's an interesting way to.
Well, it'll make.
My mom like doesn't.
She can't fuck with it at all.
Nope.
Well, I mean, I guess.
Her daughter.
Well, yeah. Whatever. I mean, the thing I always use about music is like it's supposed to make people feel less alone, like whatever it is. They feel like a sort of like a similar anger to you or like whatever, like anything kind of like that. I mean, and so I'm excited to see you do this crazy feminist bus musical. I'm excited to see you perform again. I'm excited to see anybody perform again.
I know, me too. I'm excited to see you perform again.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do that at some point.
I know, I love the new record.
And
Good.
I'm gonna put links to all your shit in the description. I'm actually gonna post this today because I was
okay.
I was supposed to post this, but I don't want to post it next week because then it'll be right before your show. Like
Oh, right.
I'll post it today. But the last section of the show, it's called "What Lives Rent Free in Your Head," and obviously, what lives rent free in your head?
What does that mean?
Like, what is something that is like at any point could just be freely moving through your brain space? For example, I know that you, like me, really feel a lot about this woman and this photograph. I think about this fucking photo every day of my life. Do you know what I'm talking about? Look at her. Look at her. Look at this fucking shit-eating grin on her face. And what is this hat? This was at the royal wedding, right? I'll never forget, like, just seeing her being like, I don't know who this fucking person is, but
it's Prince Andrew's daughter. I think that's
Margaret.
Princess Eugenie or one of them.
Got a name like, like the gene pool's not too big. But man, just look at that face. Yeah, so that's what lives in my head rent free. Is there anything like that you have going on in your life that is similar?
There's this French documentary about Nina Simone called La Legend, and you can watch it on YouTube.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And it's in French, but they interview her brother, they interview her mother, that she participates in it. It was done in the early 90s.
Wow.
And I'll never forget it. They played an answering machine message that Nina Simone left on a concert promoter's machine. And it goes like this: Stuart, this is Nina Simone. You better have that money at the Bingham Hotel by noon on Saturday. I ain't doing your goddamn show, 'cause you're rich, you son of a bitch.
That, my friends, is exactly the kind of energy I'm all about. All right, Angela, listen, I'm going to let you go. I am dying of heat stroke in this fucking shirt, and I understand now why I don't wear it very often. And I don't know why these guys
Oh, you're turning it into a strip show?
I'm doing it, but I'm below the camera line, so they can't really see. Angela, I love you.
I love you,
So
Ben.
send me the link to the thing, and I'll put it in the thing, and we'll put it on the thing. But go watch Angela's virtual show. It'll brighten up your day. You have a costumery for it? Is there a wig involved?
Yeah, they're at Perfidia's.
Oh, good. All right. All right, Ange, love you. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
And meeting for all.